Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. Season 4 is live and there are a bunch of changes to MW3's ranked play, including weapon buffs, kill streak buffs, map changes and a bunch more. Before we get into that, the gameplay you've got in the background is a solo queue sub-player gameplay where I dropped almost 50 kills. I'm not going to tell you the stat line, it's a very close game, it's quite entertaining, so if you're not here for the the update info, make sure you stay to the very end because the gameplay is fire. I just want to say, looking at the roadmap for this update, that is a bunch of content for multiplayer. I know I know Zombies has been a little bit left in the dirt. However, this has been the best post-launch content in a very long time, and it's coming from Sledgehammer Games. So shout out to those guys for doing an absolute stellar job at keeping us somewhat entertained into this, late into this game. Especially with XDefiant. If you guys have been going XDefiant, let me know how you're finding it. I've been enjoying it a little bit myself, but now Season 4 is here, this is going to be my sole focus. So yeah, today we're going to be focusing entirely on ranked play, and the things I want to kick it off with are the two new maps, which aren't going to be added to ranked play straight away. However, there are two very viable maps. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to get on and play them just yet, so I can't quite say how good they are from a gameplay perspective, but looking at the layouts you've got here, you can see how decent they actually are from a competitive standpoint. They're a good layout, they look like they make sense, and as long as the hills aren't, the hardpoint hills and, the S&D bombs and the objectives you're playing on aren't too wacky, because we've had some really questionable decision-making when it comes to that, then we should be in for two decent maps. Now, I know it's really late into the CDL season. I know there's only a couple of, a months left before the CDL finishes. However, I would still love to see these being tested in ranked play, just because it's going to bring a little bit more of a refreshing angle to ranked play, and we're not going to be recycling the same maps over and over and over again. In my opinion, if the map's somewhat decent, get it in the map pool. It's got to be better than some we've already got on ranked play. But obviously, let me know your thoughts. If your thoughts differ from mine, let me know down below. And there's going to be a bunch of changes in this video that I'm going to highlight that I want your opinions on as well. So don't be shy. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are, and we can start up a little bit of a discussion. So the next changes we're going to be covering are general gameplay changes. Now, there's a few in the patch notes. Obviously, I'm going to leave the patch notes down in the description below for you to have a look at yourself, make your own decisions, and have a read through at your pace. However, the main one that affects ranked play specifically is a change to footstep sounds. Essentially, what Sledgehammer Games have said is that last season, this I'll quote unquote, you'll see the screenshot here so you can read it with me. Last season, we made several adjustments to perks to distribute usage in the boots category more evenly. Despite these changes, the pick rate of covert sneakers, which is dead silence essentially, remains far ahead of the other boots. In today's update, our design and audio teams have decreased the volume of all footstep types, walking, sprinting, and tack sprint, to encourage more diverse usage in the boots category of perks. So in short terms, way too many people are using covert sneakers, so they're turning down the base volume of footsteps generally, so that people use a little bit more varied footsteps, which very varied boots, which I bloody love. The quieter the footsteps are as standard, the better. I love that, and I would love a little bit more diversity. I hate having just to rely on covert sneakers to make sure I'm not getting sound hoard. I'd love to be able to run a little bit quicker, maybe run a little bit faster and climb faster. I'd like to make another decision other than have silent footsteps. So it'll be interesting to see just how much they've reduced it by. But that's a big dub in my opinion. Love that. It's allows me to move around the map with a choice of other sneakers, boots, whatever you guys want to call it, Puck 3, whatever. So that's pretty much it. There are other gameplay changes, but obviously it doesn't impact ranked play, so I'm not going to be covering them. There have been a couple of map changes, one of which is crap, and one of it is actually very good. So we'll start with the crap one, getting into the good one later on. 6-star rotation has changed yet again. They changed it last season. I know you guys have asked me to do a spawn guide, and I haven't done, because I've heard on the grapevine there were going to be changes, and here we are. The changes are here. There are now only 4 hills on 6-star. You have P1 in the club, same as before. P2 is the old P2 in that little spa area. P3 is now on the rooftop bar where it used to be, and then P4 is now in the statue near the, I think they call it the Sky Bridge or something like that, but it's at that statue bit where the bomb site is for S&D, and there's no P5. Personally, I'm not a fan of this. I think there'll be, I think there's plenty different spots you can fit 5 hills into the map. But personally, I think spawns are not going to be changing for P1, P2, and P3. They're probably going to be the same as it was before the last patch, so you can still refer to my spawn guide for those 3. However, P4 is a completely new hill, likely to change, and as a result, I am hoping to refresh the spawn guide a little bit to cater for that the last hill we've got in P4 on that statue. But generally speaking, obviously share your thoughts, but I don't know why they keep changing it. We get used to it, they change it 4 weeks after, 4 weeks happens again, they then change it again. So I'm not a fan of they keep changing it. Personally, the first set of rotations was fine. They just needed to move the pool one a little bit further away, or somewhere a little bit different. I don't think it needed to be a complete revamp and then a revert straight after that. Now, the good thing that I think they've done to the maps, and I get that it's probably a little bit too late. I mean, it's bloody June almost. But on the Harrz, they've removed the environmental explosives in the CDL mode. So in ranked play, you're no longer, well, according to the patch notes, we'll see actually what happens in practice. But according to the patch notes, we're no longer going to be able to be blown up by the big tanks, any sort of barrels, any sort of fire extinguishers on the map. They've removed all environmental explosives, so you will no longer take damage in ranked play. Huge dub. I love this. I'm just very upset that it's only it's in June and it's happening, and we're not getting this from way earlier in the game's life cycle. But yeah, dub. At least it's happening now. At least they're aware of it, and hopefully studios going forward within the next couple of years listen to this sort of feedback and learn from the mistake in this that Sledgehammer Games have made. We're now going to move on to the weapon buffs. Both the MCW and the Rival 9 have had weapon buffs, and it's fairly decent, actually. Rival 9, I'm going to cover afterwards, but the MCW essentially has had its headshot multiplier increase from 1.1 times to 1.25 times. Now, what essentially that means is that it now incurs more damage than just hitting top of the torso, which is what 1.1 times is. And, you know, I'm not going to go into all the stats. That's not on here. I'm not exclusive ace, unfortunately. What a goat, by the way. However, in the most basic terms, with the MCW, you can now 4-shot with 4 headshots at close range, which works out to be about 27 meters. That is the only situation in which you will ever 4-shot with the MCW. It's when you hit 4 headshots in a row, which I like. It rewards that extreme accuracy at close range, and as a result, I do think you should be rewarded for that. I think getting 1 random headshot in the mix probably isn't worth those 4 bullet kill, which is what it was before, or even 2, I can't recall. But generally, you hit 4 headshots with the MCW at close range, you're going to kill the enemy in 4 bullets. I like that. It's a good change. I think it'll make it a little bit more balanced. Now, with the Rival, it's a little bit weird because they have buffed it yet again. Now, what they've done for the Rival 9 is they've increased the max damage range by 13% and near medium damage range by 6%. Now, essentially, what this means is that they can compete a little more at those longer ranges. It can be a little bit more versatile at, at those bit of deeper gunfights. Personally, don't think it was an issue at all. The setup I've got here with the Bruin Bastion underbarrel means you can shoot very, very straight with this gun. I don't think the change was needed because this can outgun a lot of other guns, including ARs, at medium range. And I think that's perfect place for the Rival 9. I don't honestly think it needed a buff. As I say, let me know your thoughts. We're going to differ, but it'll be interesting to hear a little bit of a discussion down in the comments below. Obviously, this will be derived from game data, so they've probably looked at the data and they've gone, okay, well, the Rival 9 is not killing other submachine guns at that range, so as a result, we're going to change it. But personally, I don't feel like that's a change that needed to be made. As I say, the Rival 9 was absolutely fine. Then the next change they made, which is actually another dub in my honest opinion, it's the change to the cruise missile. So the cruise missile, as you guys know, is a 6 kill streak on ranked play, and it's the only kill streak you actually get. And as a result, it's been buffed. It now does 50. The increased area in damage, explosive damage, has been increased by 50%. That's a 50. 50%. It's basically increased the range from 15 meters to 23 meters, making them way more effective. Now, essentially what this means is that the streak's going to be a little bit more valuable. And personally, considering the fact that you've only got 1 streak to get, I think it should be a little bit more valuable. I think it's worth getting, and I think it's going to make people play the life for that 6th streak a little bit more, which I absolutely like. I like that. I feel like the streak should be worth, at least worth getting. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to do a little bit of a quick summary, and then we're going to go maybe into a gameplay analysis if we have enough time. There's a few minutes remaining. So essentially what we've got here is 2 new potential maps that we might see in ranked play. A change to footstep noises, making them a little bit quieter. 6-star rotations have changed completely yet again. There's now 4 hills. High-rise explosions no longer work. They don't explode in ranked play. MCW's had a buff, Rival 9's had a buff, and the cruise missile has had a buff. So there are the changes. A lot of things I think should have been changed, and I am happy they have been changed. However, let me know your thoughts down in the description. Down in the description? How many times have I said that? Down in the comments below the video. So, we've got a little bit more time here. So for those of you who are only here for Season 4 Ranked Play news, obviously you can click away now. But what I'd normally do in my videos, which I haven't done in a long time, apologies for that, is do a bit of analysis of why I'm making certain decisions. And obviously you can see I'm absolutely having a heater in this game. So I'm using the sub, and what I'm trying to do here is just trying to break the hill by myself. I noticed the teammate has spawned out, and we're just going to be going into what's going through my mind as I make certain plays. I noticed as I got that kill, there was someone else near the glass window, so I was sort of playing for them to chow me. They took a while, they didn't, and he just got unfortunate timing that when I got onto the point, they chow me and managed to get the kill. But for whatever reason, my own teammate traded me. But we spawned where we are, where I've just spawned, which means they're going to be coming from like the burger side, which is where I'm aiming at just there. And I'm just trying to cut off the map while we've got teammates pushed back quite far where we've just spawned. I've got a little bit of flexibility to push up where I need to be. Unfortunately, I get a kill, get traded, and we respawn back where we were. Now, with how long's left of the hill, I'm having to call in a streak. If I can just delay their push and, you know, get them off time a little bit, it's going to be massive for the team. Obviously, I delay it. I don't boost it straight off the rip because, you know, I want to give my team a little bit of time. However, the enemy team made a crucial mistake in that they pushed out the spawns and flipped half the enemy team the other side of the map, which meant that they had no clue what was going on because, you know, they were getting red dots on the minimap from all angles. Now, with the 2 teammates where they are towards the P3, I know the enemy team will be spawning out exactly where I was facing. I tried to play for them. I got a kill, got a lot of damage out, hopefully to slow them down a little bit, but do get traded. Now, the downside to what position we're in now is that we're fighting for we're coming from Narnia, we're coming from the bad spawns, so it's really important here that we try and be as difficult as possible, get the kills, and then hit the time. You hit the time here without getting the initial kills, you're probably going to get traded, they're going to get close spawns, so it's important to push the back out, play a little bit unpredictable, and do what we can to get the kills. We do get 3 down, however, the teammate has just spawned the other side of P1 on the top left-hand side of the minimap, which means the enemy team are still spawning on the right here, somewhere towards where, you know, down here, that sort of region. I'm playing the red dots at the moment. I noticed 2 red dots. There's a guy. There's people everywhere. Gotta be honest. There's people everywhere. But with 5 down, our teammates just spawned in at the back of the map. It tells me the enemy team are all pretty much coming from P1. So I'm pretty much playing for them, and we get the dub. So not quite a 51, 48 and 23. Not a shabby game for myself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.